Well, mama told
Monster
me
catfish, baby.
when I was
Yeah,
young.
that's a big cat. Oh yeah, he's over 10. Yeah,
Sit
baby.
beside
Big cat.
me,
Get a head on that
my
thing.
only
That's what's
son. And listen closely.
Hey, what's up guys? Nick the Informative Fisherman here. And instead of saying today, I'm going to say tonight we're fishing in my backyard. I know this is back-to-back backyard videos, but last night was the first night we actually catfished in my backyard. This thing has giants. I'm telling you, the average fish we've been catching right now is like 13 to 14 pounds. I'm here in a 30 pounder, so I'm not going to tell you where I live, and please don't post where I live if you know. But man, these are some huge cats. So I got my buddy Landon from Boat Countries working over there now. He took Daniel's spot, so go in there and talk to this guy, buy some boats, you know, help out his pocketbook a little bit better. I got my buddy Zach, who always helps us out on shoots. Zach's like an awesome deckhand, and this dude's willing to dive in. Yesterday, for a matter of fact, we had a rod fling over a chair out into the water while we were installing the trolling motor on the John boat. This guy had to dive in, literally recovered it. I'll put a little clip of that right here in the bottom section for you to see him soaking wet. But we're gonna go over the baits, the rigging, the line, the hooks, what you guys need to do to come out and get some big catfish, and maybe some other tips to help fill you guys in. So let's go get some.
There you go, under.
Where'd you go, Nick?
Oh, you got my rod too. That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
Landon hooked up. Hold on. What more we got?
We got all of them.
Garlic bread, some spaghetti, catch some big old catfish. Just hanging out with Landon, do some big sturgeon chocolate for fat catfish. Oh yeah, here he comes. Oh yeah. Mondo. There he is. That's a catfish right there, folks. That's a kitty cat.
Solid 20.
Yeah, well, watch out, Chloe. You don't want that tail. Now that's a catfish. That's what we got going on in this backyard, man. Giant kitty cats.
There it is. One more look at him. Get a head on that thing.
Let me. Yeah. Get that cat, Chloe. Get that cat. Big dogs, little cats. This situation.
He's ready a minute ago.
He's ready. Go ahead. Okay, now for some of the bait that we're using tonight, these bigger catfish are really particular about what they eat. We're catching a lot of live crawdads using their tail, sometimes the whole crawdad. A lot of the time you can leave the pinchers on there. The bigger aggressive cats don't mind. Sometimes you could break the pinchers off and you know, rig the whole crawdad on a live like that. The bigger ones, they'll hit it oftentimes more aggressively to make sure they grab it. You won't get the short strikes. That's a lot of the time you'll get those takes and runs if you have those guys. From there, we also catch small bluegill, cut them in half for cut bait. Nice fresh bleeding bluegill like that. So far tonight, Landon's been getting them on salmon run. We also have anchovies, and one of our most popular baits that's been out here so far. Like I said, I haven't been out here very long, but the most popular baits, Foster Farm chicken liver. Good old brain rig. You put it on that circle hook. We've been using 3 and 4/0 circle hooks. The straight eye on the circle hook is better for hooking the fish in the corner of the mouth. Don't get that offset eye. That's an octopus style. It has a slightly higher percentage of gut hooking the fish too deep. If you have that straight eye on there, it tends to slide out a lot better and get them in the corner of the mouth. You want to use a double surgeon's loop knot so it does not impede the way that the circle hook is going to slide and get them in the corner of the mouth. If you have a heavier line, let's say you're using 25-pound leader, we're using 15 and 20-pound leader tonight. If it's heavy and stiff and you have a Palomar on there and you go to pull out, it may affect the way that the circle hook gets them in the corner of the mouth. So that double surgeon's loop knot, look that up and you can check out the illustration right here, is really going to help you out for the corner of the mouth hookups. So I'm using circle hooks on soft baits, roe, chicken liver, anchovies, and we're using sticky thread. We're wrapping the bait with sticky thread. Baits like bluegill here, a hard bait, you can use a straight shank hook. You can use a big 5-0 or 6-0 Kaylee style hook, or just a straight shank, because when you set the hook hard and you miss, with a hard bait, you're not going to tear your bait off. With roe, you set the hook, you miss, you may tear the bait off. But versus a circle hook, if he's hitting it and you slowly start to reel and you feel that he doesn't have it, you can sit it back down, and oftentimes he'll come back and pick it up again instead of you pulling it out of his strike zone, completely spooking the fish, and therefore you missed your opportunity. But using a large variety of baits like that is oftentimes going to help you hone these fish down.
Hang with us, guys. We'll be right back. Attention Northern California anglers. Have you been to Boat Country in Escalon? With one of the largest selections of welded aluminum fishing boats from Weldcraft, Lowe, and Hughes Craft, chances are they've got the right fishing boat for you. And did I mention they have a full service center to take care of all your boating repair and maintenance needs? If you're a boat owner or just looking to become one, you owe it to yourself to check these guys out. Visit BoatCountryUSA.com or stop on by. I'll see you there. Did you know that P-Line makes specialized lines for all your fishing needs, from the super strong abrasive resistant CXX or the low stretch super stealthy CX Premium? Or maybe you're looking for invisibility or super bite detection with P-Line's 100% fluorocarbon. No matter what your needs, P-Line's got it covered. To find out more, visit P-Line.com.
P-Line, baby.
Are you into diving, surfing, or fishing? And have you checked out the Salt Life YouTube channel yet? From awesome surfing insight to scuba diving locations and in and offshore fishing, bundled up with all sorts of crazy cool footage, the Salt Life has you ocean lovers covered. So go check out their YouTube channel and tell them if sent you.
I'm not sure if this net's big enough, and I didn't bring the real big one. We're gonna see what happens. We'll see if it fits in here. Any bets? Oh, dude, I seen a swirl.
You see bubbles too.
Yeah. Oh, whoa. What is that?
I don't know what it is. We'll find out.
That's a cat. I just seen the death roll.
Yeah.
I just seen the death roll. Yep.
I felt it thinking.
Let me see what happens here. Oh yeah, big cat, boy. Really? Looks like maybe 8. Bring him around, Zach. Bring him around this way.
Wow, that's big. Is that the cat?
Nope. Bring him around. Walk him this way. Walk him this way. Walk him this way. I get him head first. There we go. Oh yeah, that's an 8 to 10 pounder right there.
My God, that's a meal.
Let's let the audience see.
It's catfish.
Oh, you gotta get the hook off of there.
There's a big cat. Oh yeah, he's over 10. Yeah, baby.
Look at that belly.
Hold on, Zach. Hang on, Zach.
Zach, do you want to go in?
All right. Yeah, baby. That's what's happening. Let's release this guy. Here, why don't you put him right here in between? Let's see what happens. You go down there.
Watch out.
Keep a hand on the dock too, Zach, so you can get down there. Can you see?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead and let him go. Adios, amigo. Now, I think we got one even a lot bigger than that, so we're going to see what type of giants we can get here. All right.
So for our rod and reel combos, we're basically using rods that can handle anything from 15 to like 30-pound line. Some big heavy rods. I'm running on 20-pound P-line CXX, very tough, durable line. This is a 1-ounce egg sinker. I got beads on both sides to keep the snot out of that weight. I have a little barrel swivel, and I'm tying a short leader. Realistically, with catfish, you don't even have to use a leader. It could be 2 inches, it could be a foot, 2 feet, whatever you want. A lot of the time, when you're casting out there and you're landing in grass, sometimes your weight will pull down through the grass and your bait can sit on top. So that's the one advantage for a longer leader. But if you're fishing a bottom that doesn't have grass, you don't have to worry about your leader length at all. This is that brain rig. This is a whole chicken liver right here. This is sticky thread, real stretchy stuff. See that? I can break it. So basically, you put it up on your hook. There's actually a 3/0 circle hook inside here. You slide it up, and you lightly twist that line right around there, that thread, that sticky thread, and it'll hold it on. It looks like a big old blob. You don't detect the hook in there at all. That's that brain rig. That's our setup with that egg slider right there, the bead on both sides, 20-pound line. If you have a bait clicker, when you're dealing with big catfish like these guys, a bait runner, basically putting your reel in free spool mode to where when they take it, it's not going to take much tension to pull it off. that's fine and all, but when you get the big guys out there, a lot of the time they'll smash and run. They don't often pick it up and do that and give you that bait detection. So having a rod holder where your rod can hook in, or having it to where the butt end of your rod sticks into something to where they can't steal your rod, is absolutely imperative. You can lose a heck of a lot of fish that way.
All right, we're hooked up on another good one this morning.
I got fish.
Walked out here to check my line that was out all night.
What's up, Daddy?
It's a big catfish, baby.
What's up?
Oh, now he's ripping some line off. He knows he's hooked now. Oh, ripping off line.
I think a song.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there we go. Big old catty cats. Monster catfish, baby. Yeah.
So one of the things when you're fishing a man-made lake or a smaller lake, there's no wind current going on. You can see we have very little current, if any at all, in a lake like this. Your bait, it takes a long time for a catfish to find it. So oftentimes fan casting, let's say you cast 50 feet out, fish this spot for a half hour, move it over 20 feet for a half hour, move it over, then cast further. It's best to search around because oftentimes you don't have that current bringing them that bait scent. If you have the option to chum out there 5, 6 hours, sometimes a whole day prior to get those catfish coming over to that area. Whether it's a can of dog food with some screw holes in it that you tie onto one of your rods and you cast out there, or you're able to just throw chum in the area prior to fishing. A lot of the time it takes those catfish a substantial amount of time to come over to find that bait. So what we're doing here is, since we're in California, we can't chum, so we're fanning a lot of different areas to get them to come in. We also had lines out prior to filming, although tonight hasn't been overly productive. We only have 2 fish plus those other catches I'm showing you from last night. But it takes a long time for them to get there. A lot of the time they like that moon to come up, they like that later evening. Those bigger catfish tend to eat right in the middle of the night versus the daytime. Those are those nocturnal hunters like that. They like to get out there and pick off those crawdads, those bluegills in the dark. So you have to keep in mind, you're fishing without current, you need to be a little bit more patient when it comes to catfishing versus a river system. That scent's going to travel. You should be catching them faster. In a lake like this where there's less current, you need to be searching around. If you're in a boat, jump around to different points, but if you're stuck on the bank, plan on sticking it out, plan on searching a lot of different areas. Another thing, if you have grass growth in your lake, sometimes you'll cast out and you'll land in the middle of a grass pile. If you let your bait sit there for 4 hours, the scent's not traveling. The fish don't travel through the grass wall. Big giant catfish is not going to travel through a grass patch like a bass would. He's going to find an open lane. So oftentimes if you're bringing your bait back and it's covered in grass, try to pay attention to where you cast it that time and cast somewhere else. You got to get in those lanes where those fish are traveling, and that's going to greatly increase your percentage of hookup too.
Hang with us, guys. We'll be right back. Ever tried pulling a planer board next to your boat when trolling or fishing from a swift current bank? If not, you're missing out on one of the most phenomenal fish catching machines on the market today. With Yellowbird planer boards pulling your lines perpendicular to your boat, you can't help but catch more fish. Find out more by visiting www.yellowbirdproducts.com. Oh, you heard they got weapons of big fish destruction? Well, you heard right. BWA Fishing Performance is the newest company hitting the U.S. market by storm. With some of the sickest swim baits around and non-cookie cutter style lures that you could ever get your hands on, it's time to show these fish something new. Visit BWA.com. Been thinking about trying out kayak fishing or already into it and just want some sick upgrades for your rig? It's time to check out the Headwaters Kayak Shop. Come pick the brains of their knowledgeable staff and make sure to ask about their awesome demo program to find the right kayak for you. Or stop in and rent one with Lodi Lake right down the street. The Headwaters Kayak Shop fits all your yakking needs. Tell them if sent ya. Have you been to rustylures.com? Did you know they offer free shipping on anything over $29.99? And with all the latest and greatest in bass fishing gear, from punching tackle, umbrella rigs, swim baits, and you name it, there's really no reason for you not to be getting the best deal online today. So go to www.rustylures.com. Did you ever wish for an RC boat when you were a kid? And do you have a passion for fishing? Well, guess what? It's time to do them both at the same time. With RCFishingWorld.com's RC Fishing Pole, it's time to be a kid again. So visit www.rcfishingworld.com today.
That's it. That's it, baby. Who's that? I think that's the smallest cat I've seen here so far. That channel?
Yeah. I can't see his head. Oh, I can't see his head. I got him though. That's a channel cat there.
That's a nice channel there.
Now that right there is normally a trophy catfish for any lake, probably in the U.S. But this is actually under our average size. If we've been averaging 13 to 14 pounders, this is probably anywhere between 8 to 10. I mean, absolutely stunning fish, but man, that's still friggin' awesome. So here we have a Kaylee style hook. This is going to be for your harder baits, your bigger baits, baits that you want to set the hook on real hard. This is where I use the circle hook for my softer baits, and you can see that loop style knot right there. That's that double surgeon's loop. This is an offset eye circle hook. This is one I used to have in the box. I just ran out, but I was talking about one that has the straighter eye, that has that higher percentage of getting them in the corner of the mouth if they just take it and run. So your big Kaylee like that, that's a 5-0. Here's a 4-0 circle hook. Octopus is when the eye leans back. So just basically a 4-0 standard circle hook would be absolutely fine. There's just a Palomar knot tied on here. It doesn't need to slide in the corner of the mouth. You're setting the hook hard. Double surgeon's loop on a hook that needs to slip over into the corner of the fish's mouth. So what we're going to do here, we see this catfish got it real deep. It's down in his throat. A lot of the time you can pull the gill back, cut the line off, and get the eye of the hook and pull it backwards and turn the hook around and come back out. It's so far into his throat right here, it's in the fish's best interest that we cut the line off just above the eye of the hook. Give the hook the opportunity to rust out. I've caught catfish and a lot of fish with old worn out hooks way in the back of their throat. The fish goes on to spawn. Some of them still eat successfully. And what's going to happen if you try to yank it out of his throat and you tear him up? He could bleed to death. He's not going to reproduce. This way, this fish can probably go on, still do another spawning cycle, and maybe eat. So that's in his best interest to cut it off down there.
All right, let's get this guy back in the water. Let me move your rod out of there.
Oh yeah. Huge. Oh, rip and drag. Still feel alone. Yeah, baby. There's another 10, 12 pounder. Yeah. Big cat. Yeah.
Well, guys, we only got the 2 good cats tonight. We missed a couple of more really big bites. We're going to give it a few more minutes, but I appreciate you guys watching. Hopefully you got a little bit more info out of this episode and seen some big old giant cats I have in my backyard. I'm sure I'll be posting up some real huge ones on Facebook, so check me out at Informative Fisherman on Facebook, and make sure to visit informativefisherman.com. We're getting ready to do another episode coming up with Mark Daniels Jr. about his ride on the FLW Tour and how he's found success, and we're going to be back out on the California Delta with him, breaking down lipless crankbaits and doing some big time flipping. Thanks for watching, guys.